Hey guys, how's it going? Coach Tyson from Ox Strength, and we're finally doing the meet recap for this entire series that we had done. I think we started training from like 12 weeks. Training about the entire year, but then recording my process as I prepare for this meet for the last 12 weeks. And I know some of you guys watched most of the videos and like finally a video pending, but then we're finally doing it. So as you guys know, I competed in Hong Kong in the USAPL Bench Classic in the U125 kilogram class, and then the overall result was alright, like ठिक्कको भयो, like expectation exceed पनि गरेन, meet अलिकतिले गरेन, but like it wasn't like a very poor meet where I bombed and then like मैले सोचेको केही पनि भएन त्यस्तो पनि हैन. We came out with some learnings and some new PRs, one new PR, and I think overall experience चाहिँ राम्रो भइरहेको थियो. And as you guys also know, like मैले compete नगरेको almost 3 years नै भइसक्यो, and then coming back into the platform was like a really emotional moment. Like my friends, family, everyone was like excited. I was like really excited. I felt like I did most of the work that was needed in order to be the best lifter on that particular day. And yeah, it was a new experience competing outside of Nepal. Afnai gharma athwa like even when I was living in Thailand, it was my base ni ta, so त्यहाँ compete गर्दाखेरि it's a bit easier. But then when you have to fly to another country where they don't speak the language, you don't get similar foods, hotel room ma बस्नु पर्छ, and time त त्यति धेरै फरक छैन, but then like the culture is different, gym सबै कुरा different हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ all the variables, it's a bit hard to manage. But then being an athlete, being a coach, and understanding all of these things, like मेरो expectation पनि like wild चाहिँ थिएन, like घरमै आएर गरे जस्तो पनि हुँदैन, different time मा हुन्छ. अनि a lot of things we'll discuss some of them as we go, and how it could have affected me or like made it even easier for me, some of the other factors, you know. So yeah, let's go lift by lift basis. So coming into the comp, like I wasn't hoping all my lifts will go extremely well because training पनि ठिकै भयो. Some blocks were really nice, some blocks were like okay sort of. तर squat मा चाहिँ I'm always like very confident. And we've done 272.5 kgs in training about 2 weeks out. So yo भन्दाखेरि I knew I had somewhere between 275 to 285 चाहिँ थियो भन्ने मलाई थाहा थियो. And when we were discussing the attempt selection with my coach, like we wanted to open something light so that नयाँ ठाउँमा equipmentहरु केही गरी different भइदिहाल्यो भने पनि like something very doable भनेर चाहिँ we opened with 255 kgs here. So that's me getting amped up. So alikati like the ठाउँको environment पनि like अति crazy थियो. It was like in a small room, and it was like very loud, अनि अति नै fast. Everything was happening so fast. Like warm up हरु गर्दाखेरि पनि like chaos भइरहेको थियो. Like so many lifters, like even though there were like 10 I think 8 to 10 power racks and combo racks combined, त्यो पनि like warm up हरु गर्नु अलिअलि मिलाउनु परिरहेको थियो. अनि आफ्नो height हरु यताउति गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो chaos feel भइरहेको थियो, and especially in a new place, you don't know anybody. So we opened up really light, and this is 255 kgs. मलाई चाहिँ like यो commands हरु कस्तो like normally train गर्दैन नि त, and it felt like it was really long के like सुरुको squat को command पनि लामो feel भयो जस्तो लाग्यो. Like मलाई चाहिँ personally it wasn't too long, it was alright, तर like मलाई चाहिँ in my head it felt quite like अलिक लामो भयो जस्तो लाग्यो. And as you can see, like अलिकति rusty नै छ के मेरो squat, because like I was rushing a bit too much. So this isn't a usual 255 for me. Like at the whole I'm shifting slightly towards the right. And what हामीले मेरो कोचसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि what we had initially planned was like squat र deadlift गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ from opener to second attempt we can choose around 15 to 20 kilo jump, or like it could be even less if it's really heavy. But then we don't want to exceed 20 kgs because it opens a new territory for us that we haven't touched. So मैले 255 but directly 275 गर्यो भने it's like a new territory. I haven't done it in training, I haven't done it many times at the gym or in a meet. So 272 was like the most I'd done so leading up to this comp. So मलाई 255 गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ like 20 kg jump चाहिँ आज छैन. It wasn't there जस्तो लाग्यो, just because of how things were. It felt a bit rusty. So we did a 15 kilo jump to 270 after this, based on हाम्रो conversation. So 270 बाट चाहिँ like another फेरि अब नयाँ jump को लागि चाहिँ what do we want to do भन्ने पनि हुन्छ नि त. So मैले first मा चाहिँ 20 was like the upper cap, And then second attempt pachiko upper cap we'll just talk about as we watch the next video. So yeah, this is 270. They're loading it. Let's forward it a bit. Like sabai kura like really amped up. Like even the spotters were hyping me up. Like sabai kura bhairako by this time I was like getting into the zone a little bit more. Like के कुरा कहाँ छ कम्पिटिसनमा सबै कुराहरु बुझ्न थालिसकेको थियो. And this is the second attempt, 270 kgs, and this felt to me even lighter than the opening weight because like of all these factors. Like I was more comfortable in the place, I knew where to sit, where to stand, where not to stand, कहाँनिर चाहिँ भिड हुन्छ, and warm-upsहरु पनि complete भइसक्यो. त्यो सुरुको प्लेटफर्ममा आउने प्रेसर नर्भ्सहरु पनि I think सबै कुरा निस्किसकेको भएपछि चाहिँ like 15 kg jump shit कम गरे क्या हो जस्तो लागिरहेको because had I done 275 in my second attempt it would move and I could have made a 15 kilo jump. But then we don't want to break any sort of a rule that we set ourselves to start, because like everything is so methodical and pre-planned nita. So like 20 kg jump from second to third would be a bit too risky because extremely new territory भयो नि त. त्यो त like अहिले छोएकै नछोएको weight हुन्छ. So I just chose to do a 15 kilo jump. तर third मा चाहिँ we had a choice, 5 kilo, 10 kilo or 15 kilo depending on how it felt, and I wanted to be absolutely honest with myself. And I think looking at how 270 felt and how it had previously been in training, we simply just put 285, which was I think the best call we could have made for the day, and that's what we did. So 285, if I get this lift, it would be like a 10 kg PR from what I've done at the gym, and then meet PR भन्दाखेरि त 245 मात्रै थियो मेरो last time meet मा गरेको. So this was like really big lift. But then let me see, a lot of hype going into the lift. Let's have a look, maybe with the sound. By this time I knew like it's really easy, and like कस्तो निकाल्दाखेरि नै squat यस्तो light feel भयो. Like I was 100% sure that I'm not gonna fail. अनि मेरो usually like problem चाहिँ पहिला challenge को barbell use गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ like 270 cross भएपछि चाहिँ it starts to create a different sort of a whip. अनि यो चाहिँ like it was in the back of my head, like if the whip throws me off अलिकति problem हुन्छ कि. But then like we were using Elico on this day, and I think Elico power bar is the stiffest power bar there is and the most stable one, the most natural feeling one भनौं न, because some of the other barbells are really harsh and जबरजस्तीको कडा हुन्छ, whip पनि राम्रो मिलेको हुँदैन. So this was, I think a lot is also because of the good barbell that they were used for this meet, and then the depth was good and the lift too, surprisingly quite easy. So yeah, that was 285 kgs, and it looked like I had another even 5 or even 7.5 kgs after the squat attempt. And normally this is also another feeling that we feel as competitors. Like whenever we get a successful lift, we feel like, oye, सक्थ्यो यार मैले अर्को 5 kilo, 10 kilo. But it most of the time isn't really true, as long like if your program is correct, and if you get the lift, or if you fail चाहिँ ल 5 kilo कम गर्नुपर्ने रहेछ है, त्यस्तो जहिले पनि हुन्छ के, like second to third. So I don't take so much like, oh shit, I regret not doing 290, त्यस्तो चाहिँ भएन. But like 285 is still like a massive number for me, and I think for squatting in general. So really happy with that outcome. Quite hyped after the squat, and like I knew it was like a good day. Now that squat is over, it's my strongest lift. But we move on to bench press, and then we start warming up for the bench. And bench was feeling a bit tired, to be honest, because upper back takes a really big hit. And you also have to understand that there were only 30 minutes break from my last squat to my first bench press. So it's not a lot of time. So there isn't time where I can chill around, lie down in the foam roller. Like after I put the squat back, like अर्को मान्छेहरुको bench flight start हुन्छ, and then I start to warm up for the bench. So there isn't much time to eat. Like I wasn't eating anything throughout the day just because digest हुनु नै time हुँदैन. So I was mostly on liquid calories, अनि mostly just hydrating my body, and then अलिअलि stretch out roll चाहिँ गर्नु try गरेको थिएँ. But then it was a really fast meet. Like squat को third attempt गर्दाखेरि पनि I was like still, my heart was a bit like racing because 270 यति adrenaline मा हानेको हुन्छ. So yeah, these are little things that also need to be considered. So yeah, benchमा पनि we wanted to open something really light just to get our foot in the competition and not, you know, bomb out. So benchma 135 थियो, we've done 135 a million times in training, and we opened with that, and like expected, it was quite chill. When we talk about like setting up for the comp, like your bench जुन देखिराख्नु भएको छ, the Eleco bench, it's like a really different material. Okay? It's really hard and it's really grippy. So grip ko चाहिँ issue हुँदैन that you're not going to slide away, but then you cannot really set up a nice arch because of how stiff it is. And normally चाहिँ arch like bench, if you dig in a little bit, it's much easier for the shoulders to move around. So it's not like lock bhako jasto एउटा feeling हुन्छ. And this was the second time I've used the equipment like warm up ma and then in the platform. So I think alikati adjustment period चाहिँ मलाई पनि लाग्यो, even though like I use a very unique setup style which is repeatable. त्यही पनि अलिकति heavy चाहिँ लाग्यो. Like as you can see, like मेरो घाँटीमा there's a gap. Normally हाम्रो बेन्चहरुमा गर्दाखेरि or any regular benchमा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ we don't see this gap because I dig into the bench a little bit, but then this one's like hard, almost as hard as a table. So yeah, that was something for me to consider. But the bench warm up was like really nice. So benchma pani what we had planned is like 10 kg jump from opener to second is fine. That second to third say like 5 or maybe even 7.5 kg somewhat is fine. So I knew I could do around 150-ish on this day, but then considering like the bench is different, the commands were decently long, I thought like I might need to settle for 147 चाहिँ मलाई open गर्नु साथै थाहा भइसकेको थियो, and that was the number that I was chasing. So I didn't do a 10 kg jump even though it didn't feel heavy at all. So I still just did 142.5 kilo jump on my second attempt. So that's a 7.5 kilo jump, and I was like really confident with this weight because we've also done this multiple times in training, and let's see what happens. A really bad fight to lock the weight out because like weight the heavy and I really like for me to struggle with the weight, and this bench was a fight, and I was like surprised like कसरी रोक्यो जस्तो भइराख्यो, and then like back room ma गए, and then I started to analyze the video. What happened is like I was a bit too scared of dropping the bar into my chest like I normally do because I was scared of losing position. So मैले like sort of like a hold गरेर press गर्नु खोजेको थिएँ, but then like I couldn't really find a proper position, so it rocked the bar forward towards my body, and then creating a little bit of a downward movement. Yeah, see, मैले अलिकति होल्ड गर्नु खोजेँ बारलाई, and यहाँनिर ठ्याक्क downward movement भएर चाहिँ the lift was a red light, and I knew the fact that it was not going to be counted because they hold up to quite high standard there. But then like you gotta take what the meat gives you, and then I decided to retake the attempt because even though I knew like 145 I can do it, I can fix these issues after the next attempt. But then like it's still sort of like a big risk to just have 135 or just do 142 and save 7.5 kilos or 145 गरौँ कि जस्तो लागिरहेको थियो because I knew for sure like 147 त मैले सक्छ, but then we still decided just to do to 142.5, and then a little bit more amped up for this weight, and then I tried to stick to my gut and then not think so much about the equipment, and then just let the bar sink down a little bit and then try to set up even faster. Like start command पनि ढिलो पाएको थिएँ, and then I let the bar sink, as you can see. Even though like my position is getting out of place, I let the bar sink a lot, and then I get the press command quite fast too, and it locks out like an RP8. So, but like our fourth attempt and it's a meet day, and the meet day condition where you just gotta take what's there on the table, and then we went on to warm up for deadlifts with 142.5, knowing that 147 was surely there, and maybe 150, I don't know. But I did not go. So like we just went with 142 and then moved on to deadlifts. Same as the squat, like deadlift corner one, like right away after them, there is no lunch break in between. There isn't anything much you can do outside of just get to competing and then orko flight start bhayihalcha. And yeah, deadlift time. So deadlift ma pani similar to the squat, we wanted to take a 20 kilo jump and then 15 kilo jump and see wherever it lands us. So 265 the opener, and deadlift has been hit and miss for me for a very long time. So malai jaile pani deadlift garda chai, like nowadays it's a bit fearful bhanum na, that I might just not be strong enough on the given day, or like I might just not be able to find position jasto feel huncha ke kaile kai. So त्यो भएर चाहिँ like we just did 265, and 265 चाहिँ like I have no fear of 265 because like I've done 265 for I think 4 reps in training like long time back, but then still. So 265 for opener, basically like a last warm up in the platform. On your platform, as you can notice, it's a bit of a unique style of a platform. Not that I think it affected me a lot, but some of the other athletes were complaining that the platform is pulling them forwards, pushing them backwards. You can see it when I put the weight down. But then like Malaj, I don't think it affected me so much, but like 265, it actually moved like a last warm up. And then you can look at the platform, it wobbles a little bit, and I think some of the guys were being thrown off by that. And based on this opener, like we took a 20 kilo jump because we knew it was there. 285 is something that I've done in training multiple times, so we chose to do 285 kilos. But I was still a bit nervous that like uthera bhane ke गर्ने type ko, because I've definitely failed 285 a couple of times too. So let's have a look at the 285. Yeah, so this is set up, calm and composed. And like a really easy lockout button, and you can see the platform wobbling. But then one thing what you want to also notice is like this bar doesn't bend at all, like compared to the barbells that we have here. So again, a squat match, which was an advantage to me, now is like a disadvantage because the bar is so stiff and then there's very little slack. Even with weights such as 285, now you have to be in the 400 kilo mark to be able to pull some slack out of this bar. So there's like very less slack compared to other barbells. But then this was like really good. Aligati slow down चाहिँ feel भयो, but then like nothing too crazy. But then like our 285 गरेपछि like our upper end is 15 kilo jump that we can take. I was thinking of taking 295 because that's what I had thought initially. But then like considering how I felt, and then like squat पनि राम्रो भयो थियो, and bench ma पनि like we missed out a little bit on the bench too. Like maybe deadlift ma we can do it so that we don't have that error, or like 300 सक्थ्यो गरेको भए, because if I had gotten any number less than that, say like सक्छ जस्तो लाग्छ नि त, अघि हामीले सुरुमा डिस्कस गरेको थियो. So we just put 300 and then just sent everything that we had to, and then like it was crazy, like it was loud, like अति नै loud थियो के ठाउँ. Like everyone like Tyson, and then like a international lifter bhako bhayera chai like they were like really, you know, they wanted me to do well at least. And then this is 300. Oh no, and that was all that I could pull. I think like normally ma yo ठाउँमा चाहिँ fail bhako हुँदैन lift. Like normally I don't fail in this area. Whenever I fail like a deadlift, it's mostly at the bottom or aligati just above the floor. But then like you would say like it was simply because like my back strength was too tired, and like back to back got a bench when I had to fight a lot harder than what I needed to. But then considering all things, I was happy that I could deadlift 300 up until this point, and then like new ki ab next meet gare bhani, or like if we can plan attempts a bit better, 300 is definitely there wala chai feel ayo. And that was it. We missed out 15 kgs on the deadlift and 5 kgs or so on the squat, wrapping up the meet with a 712.5 kilo total, which is more than 700, which I had hoped to do for a very long time. And gold medal in the squat, gold medal in the bench press, total ani U125, but there weren't any junior lifters, so also a best U25 lifter of the meet, and that was good. And why U125? Say because like normally I would ideally want to do a U110 because that's where I'm very comfortable. I weigh around like 17, 18 on a good day normally. But 110 भन्दा माथि जानुको another reason was like Keenan भन्ने, there's one guy who is like who has the highest world record total in the 110 class, and I didn't want to go against him because like the odds of me winning was 0 to 1,000, and I wanted to compete with people of a similar caliber, and maybe in the future we could compete against him international meets. And I knew like 125 I had more chances of winning, and then we fight for placing. And competition ma jaile pani up like tala januko reason pani त्यही हुन्छ, माथि जानुको reason पनि त्यही हुन्छ, that you can be a better athlete for the weight class, and that's what we exactly did in this meet. And that wraps up मेरो USAPL powerlifting meet. Now, a few takeaways from this meet is that I need to compete more often because I felt very lost like attempt selection, because all these numbers that I'm doing, especially on the deadlift and bench press, it was a bit too much for me to even think about. If I get more competitions, then I can troubleshoot this more and more. More every month, but not in 3 years. So I want to compete a bit more. We already have some meets in plan with the USAPL in a few countries, so let's see what the future holds. But this year is going to be special, I think. For me, it's a new weight class. I'm really building up. I feel like a what do you say, like a beginner. Newbie gains just in this new weight class. So I think like pushing up to like 760, 770 won't be as challenging as how much it took me to get past the 700 mark. So yeah, things are gonna get interesting this year, and I hope you guys will be around for the journey and then watch our videos, all these things. And yeah guys, next meet prep we'll definitely do a series similar to this. And until then, thank you so much for watching. For coaching, contact Strength System, the website, Instagram DM garnu, and anything related to templates, supplements, apparel, we got you covered, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, be strong.